Oh, g'day folks, Ashley here from Ground Speed Gaming, and I'm going to do another flight from Prescott across to Winslow, Arizona. I realise I did it in the 172, the G1000, not too long ago. There was a reason I chose that aircraft, but found out recently that the WB Sims 152 is being converted and made available for Flight Sim 2024, and so I've got to give that a go. And I love flying this thing. It was great in 2020, this aircraft, so I want to test it out in 2024 and see how we go. So I'm going to recreate the flight Prescott to Winslow, and I intend to take it a bit further now, not in this flight today, but further across to the east coast, and then possibly even down to Key West in this aircraft. So we'll see how we go. As you can see, it's hours. I have taken it up just to briefly test it, and it worked, but it didn't save the hours for some reason. I guess I need to put it in state saving, I guess. So, anyway, we'll get started. But before we get started on the actual flight, let's do a quick brief here. Let's have a look here. So, today's flight. Going from Prescott, and not going directly to the direct VOR, but we'll be using the direct VOR to travel northeasterly 061 all the way to the Winslow VOR, and doing instrument approach into Winslow. I have to change the weather because there's actually quite moderate to severe turbulence in the area due to mountain waves at the moment, so I've actually turned the weather off essentially and changed it to morning. So, but that's the flight, so we're not expecting any weather. So you can see the weather is actually, in reality, it's a little bit gusty, but higher up we go, it is a bit more dangerous to fly. As for Prescott, no TAMs. I don't think there's really anything of interest here. Displace threshold, that's not really important. We're departing here, so we're not going to do any instrument approaches in here. There is an obstacle departure procedure we are following that one. We're doing 2 on left, so that's not relevant. So 2 on left, minimum climb 448 feet per minute. Yes, that is true. We do need 2 on left. Let's see, where is it? We need a minimum of 430 feet per nautical mile. That's a requirement in order to do this departure procedure. And to work that out, just quickly, best rate of climb, which what we're using is 66 times 430 divided by 60, and that's the minimum feet per minute rate of climb that we need to have per minute, 473 feet. So I guess we'll find out if we get that when we depart. If not, we'll obviously have to stay visual, but I think we should be able to pull it off. What else is there? I think that was the only NOTAM of interest to us. We're not doing ILS. Realistically, you'd sort of look at it. Remote comm outlet is not working. Well, that's happens a lot in the Midwest too. No, that's pretty much it for Prescott. As for Winslow, that's the only one that's relevant. Even then, it doesn't really affect us directly. MSA sector, minimum altitude 8,100 feet, and what that is it's that there. It's 8,100 feet instead of 7,800. Pretty sure that's that sector. 123,340. Yeah, 123. Yeah, so that's 8,100 instead of 7,800. That's it. But that's the approach we intend to do. We're going to be coming inbound, joining the 10D arc, coming in, flying in, over the Vortac, and then to the airport. So it's a pretty straightforward flight. If you've seen the 172 video, you've essentially seen this flight for the most part. So we will get started now. Okay, so I'm using a checklist from a Cessna 150. However, I think we can get away with that because it's a very similar aircraft. I think the main difference is 152 has 110 horsepower instead of 100 horsepower. And it's pretty much all the same instrumentation. So to get started, we've got the seat track back is locked. Avionics are off, so this has no avionics master switch. We're going to do individually switch them all off. Just make sure that's off. Looks like it is. Carburetor heat is off. Mixture fully rich. Throttle, we need slight throttle. Yep. And we got a prime it, so let's probably do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Give that a go. And obviously you check to make sure it's locked. Brakes, they are on. Visually check and make sure the prop is clear. Looks like it is. Master on. I also put the alternator on. Beacon lights is there. Put that on. The mags we push to start. Now, it doesn't say turn the fuel on, but it is on. For some reason it doesn't mention that. 50. So we'll give it a go. We'll start her up. Clear prop. And she started. Oil pressure's good. Nav lights will come on. Tax lights will come on. Laps are up. Heat, vent, defrost. Don't worry about that. Avionics, we can turn them all on. Transponder standby. On 2, on 1, on DME and ADF. Excellent. Before I forget, I'm going to switch it to state saving, just so that way
state saving enabled.
Now it's going to save the log time because I have taken it up and it's obviously reading 0, so I think you need that enabled to save the hours, just a guess. Alright, ATIS and AWOS. Alright, we're going to need to get that. Let's see. 127.2 is... turn the volume up. That's why I can't hear it.
Niner. Sky condition. No clouds below 12,000. Temperature 15. Dew point 13. Altimeter 29902. 15. ILS runway 21L and visual runway 21 are in use. Landing and departing runway 21L and runway 21R. IFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have Sierra.
Information
Prescott
Sierra.
Airport information Sierra 2300 Zulu. Wind 260 at 4. Visibility Niner. Sky condition. No clouds below 12,000. Temperature 15. Dew point 13. Altimeter 29902. 15.
Excellent. So we got the ATIS. And we're going to use runway 21 left, which is essentially the runway in front, right in front of us. Altimeter, let's just make sure that's set to 29902. Yes, it is. And I forget what the elevation is for Prescott, so stand by. Just quickly look that up, and there we go. 5,000. Right. And it's indicating just under 5,000, so it's just 4,980. So we're within 75 feet, so that's acceptable. That's good. So I'm just set transponder. We're going to leave it on standby. Squawk 1200. ADSB. Well, I don't think this thing has ADSB. That's okay. The radios, yeah, we'll pretend they're working. Taxi lights can come on. We'll do those turned on. Brakes, we'll do the brake test in just a minute. Attitude indicator and turn coordinate and heading indicator, the compass tests. We'll do that as we are taxiing. So here we go. I feet on the brakes. Release the brakes. Moving forwards. Test my brakes. Excellent. My brakes work. Keep going. I see you looking around. Clear on the left. Clear on the right. Oh, that dude's in the way. But we'll just pretend that he's not there. Quite a bit of activity here, actually. Well, so far the aircraft seems to be working well in 2024. I really enjoyed flying it in Flight Sim 2020, so hopefully she's going to do well in this version, 2024. So far, so good. Okay, these are real tests you've got to do in real life. You fly in real life. Alright, so what we're looking for is we're doing a right turn, left skid. Yeah, DG is turning in the correct direction. Compass is freely turning. Left turn, right skid. DG is turning in the correct direction. Artificial horizon is also remaining level. Compass is freely turning, and it's also pointing in the direction of a known heading. Yep, pretty good. 0321. Obviously, this is 03. We're going to be taking up on runway 21, so that's good. Excellent. In case you've been wondering why I haven't been doing any videos lately, is I've been doing flight training in real life, and it's been keeping me busy, plus obviously working full time. And so I haven't had much time to sit down and do some videos. But the flight training for the instrument rating has been completed, so I'll have more time to spare now to do more videos. I'm glad that's done, as stressful as it is. And one of the things he mentioned during my check ride is, I was taxiing about 17 knots, and it was like, it's just a little bit fast, so just slow down a bit. So keep that in mind. Don't taxi too fast. But the scenery in 2024 is looking very good. Well, don't get me wrong, it looks really good in Flight Sim 2020 as well, in this region, but I think it's looking really good, especially with the rocks on the side of the taxiway just here. A lot more detail, so it looks really good. We'll run up just towards the end of the taxiway here. It's probably taxiing a bit fast. And we're going to go through our run-up checks in the run-up bay just off to our left here before we take off. Alright, the winds are pretty minimal, so it doesn't really matter what direction I'm facing, so this will be just fine here. 8,000 RPM. And just pop the brakes on. I forgot to land it earlier, after I started up. Okay, so for the run-up, brakes are on. Fuel selector is on. There's no left or right, it's only on or off, so it's on. Trim is set for takeoff. You can see the little peg there. Just needs the takeoff. Just need a slight adjustment. I think it's fine. Flight controls, make sure they are free and correct. So here, when you're checking the controls, not only are you making sure that they're showing the correct direction, but also that your knee pad's not in the way or no other obstacles are in the way. Instruments, airspeed's reading 0, artificial rise is reading horizontal. Clock, we'll pretend that's the correct time. Altimeter is showing within 75 feet of our altitude, so that's good. Instruments we need actually to the IFR chart here, so we need 1 and 4.1. Drake VOR 06. There we go. Got that. As for Winslow, we'll put that in later. Let's see. What was it? 06. Initial track from overhead to Drake is 061 outbound. However, I still got to do the briefing for you for the obstacle departure procedure. To heading up 205. I'll brief you on that in a second. Instruments are looking pretty good so far. We can't identify that until we get airborne. Mixture, we have leaned it a little bit. Prime, it is locked. Okay, 1700 RPM. Alright, 1700 RPM. Just walk that out of the way. Check the left mag. Watching the RPM. Drops a little bit. Yep, that's within tolerance. Back to both. RPM increases. Right one. Okay, drops about the same. Back to both. Over at 8. RPM should drop. Yes, RPM has dropped. Excellent. RPM off, RPM increases. The vacuum gauge, that is in the green, that's for this one. This gauge. The ammeter, which is across here, it's at or beyond the centre, so that's good. Oil pressure is looking good. Oil temperature is rising, the green arc. And back to oil, make sure the engine does not stop. Engine did not stop. Excellent. Back to 1000 RPM. Flaps, we're going to use 0 flaps. You only use flaps 10 degrees if you're going to reduce the takeoff distance by 10%. And if you have an obstacle, you do not use it. So this is an obstacle departure procedure, so we're not going to use it. Carburetor heat is off. Pitot heat we will actually turn on in just a minute. Actually, no, just put it on now. Transponder, we'll put that altitude, so it's mode C. Heading bug is set for the departure. But we're going to align the compass in a minute. Doors, make sure they're closed and secure. And obviously seatbelts. Landing lights on. Strobes on. Let's see, that's 065, so that needs to be on 065. Clearly that's way off. That's wrong. Okay, so before we depart, barometric, that is correct. Actually going to go to 11,000. if this thing can get there. But before we depart, the Prescott 3 departure, which is an obstacle departure procedure. I've so briefly mentioned earlier, runway 21 left, which is what we're going to go. We need to have 430 feet per nautical mile, which we calculated to be 473 feet per minute. That's what we have to reach to clear the obstacles. So we'll see if we get that. To the left, climber heading 205. That's what the heading buggy is, up to 7,300 feet. We continue with the climbing, right turn direct to the Wartack and Drake, which is what's tuned in. Climb on a direct track. We have to climb outbound on the 305 radial to get to 9,000 feet. So once we get to Drake, we've got to go outbound on the 305 until we get to 9,000 feet, and then track back to the Drake. Then we track outbound. It's 061, I think it is for us. 061. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get to 9,000 feet before we even get to Drake. But yep, we've got to remember 7,800 feet is when we start our back to the nav 8. Alright, let's go. Obviously this is a Class Delta airspace, so there is a tower, but we're not going to do any radio comms or anything like that. I just turn the engine sounds down a bit, they're pretty loud. And let's just improve the visibility a bit. There we go. Okay. 2 on left. Compass is ready, correct. Let's go. RPM's up. Airspeed is alive. Rotate at 55. 55 is fine. Yeah. And we're looking for a 66 knots climb out. Currently getting 800 feet a minute. Good. Surprised. Pleasantly surprised. There we go. Let's just maintain that heading. Slow the nose a little bit. Alright, let's go with the autopilot. Heading. How do you? Oh, I always forget how to operate this thing. Try and best to maintain 66 knots, which is the best rate to climb this thing. And once again, we're still above the minimum required climb gradients. That's good. We're going to climb a bit more than that. So we're looking for 7,300 feet, and then we can track directly to the nav 8. So let's just try. Let's lower the nose a bit. Let's be stalled. Tune in identified. didn't hear it, but I'll hear it one more time. That is tune and identify for nav 1. Nav 2. Nav 2, tune and identify. Alright. So once again looking for 7,300 feet. There. And this is what's going to tell us the direction we need to go to track straight to that. Looks like heading of about 340. And this will take us over the Imperial campus. So we're probably past it now. 1,300 feet. Okay, let's go 340. We're still watching our speed. And unfortunately it's still turning faster than rate 1. The autopilot in the G1000, the Cessna 172, I actually tested it a few weeks ago purposely to see if it goes beyond rate 1, and it didn't. It was actually turning at rate 1 using the autopilot. So it's just a Microsoft Flight Sim thing. Hopefully they can correct that. Let's just lower the nose a bit. Get that speed as close to 66 as possible. Alright, so about 35 seconds. The other problem with the compass in flight is it moves around a bit. That's pretty realistic. Best to realign it once we're steady and straight and level flight. It's 8,000 feet. Hopefully we can get to 9,000 before we get to the nav 8. Of course the DME is set to Drake. You can tune and identify, but I don't think the DME works. Oh, it is. Pretty sure in 2020 the DME didn't work. I didn't. Excellent. DME tune and identified. There's Drake. Oh, right, so we're doing a climb. Power settings to use, well, set, turn off the taxi lights. And flight plan, we would have opened it by contacting Albuquerque Center. So we've still got 4 miles to go when we get to 9,000, hopefully. Speed there. And the MEA for Drake to the first fix of Dirty is actually 10,100 feet, so we're actually still below the MEA. And what the MEA is, that's an altitude that guarantees you obstacle clearance, 4 miles either track of the VOR track. In a mountainous terrain it gives you 2,000 foot clearance, in a non-mountainous terrain it gives you 1,000 foot clearance. So this is considered a mountainous terrain, so 2,000 feet clearance. That's probably why it's at 10,000 as opposed to 9,100. Okay, so we're at 9,000 feet, so we do not need to contract outbound, but we can go straight to 061. So we get overhead. Once again, just lower that radar. percent backline. If that's speed. Otherwise, this autopilot will actually stall the aircraft if you're not careful. And so far, she's looking good. Sounds good. Temperature's good. Pressure's good. The nose. Accelerate a bit. It's too slow. Best angle is 61, so might have to do that. Now, so we're going to be, I'm guessing about 0.9 will be when we're overhead, maybe 1, 2. But we're so close, so I'm not going to chase the middle at all. So we've got nav com2, nav2 set to 061, and so we go outbound now. We are very close to nav 8. This one can be adjusted to 061. 60, 61. Let's increase the rate of climb. So the numbers for the DME are increasing, so we are going further away, and it's showing from, and it's moving, so that's good to go. And we're just reaching the MEA right now. It's showing our outbound track 061. It's just slightly to our left, so let's go to the left. Then I think we'll make much of a change because it is very sensitive because we are still very close. There we go. It's centered, so let's go back. And once we level off at 11,000 feet, then I'll realign the compass just to make sure it's good. It's looking pretty good so far. Compass and the DG. You'll see this directional gyro actually makes no reference to the magnetic field whatsoever. You just have to align it with this knob here to match what the compass indicates. And these things do drift after a while. I believe even in this aircraft, the compass drift, the DG drifts. So you've got to keep an eye on it. We're almost there. This poor old bird, mate. She's working hard. All 110 horsepower. Yeah, 112.6, that's actually Winslow. So that's already in standby for the VOR. I keep forgetting how you operate this thing. No. This autopilot. It's so different from the G1000. Come on. It's trying to arm its so I would stop it. 11,000. We'll see how the compass settles down. Unfortunately, I don't know how to shift sideways. 2020 I used the arrow, but it's just too bad. Yeah, I haven't got the keys in this thing yet. Looks like we're on about 060 on the compass, and that looks better. So we'll go to the left. We are off the track a little bit. That's okay. I turn that volume down for the engine a bit. It's pretty loud. You know what the engine sounds like? That's it, that's the landing. Alright, cruise power set mixture is land instruments. Currently, compass, other DGs line with the compass. Looks good, speed's up what we can. Laps are definitely up, so it's set 11,000 feet. We're tracking to VLR actually, but nav mode. Hopefully it doesn't overreact. The other thing we do is switch to nav 2. It's thermometer 2.6, it's Winslow, so identify that. It's probably too early. INW. That's been tuned and identified. It's 242 on the bottom. That's the 242 radial from Winslow, so that's 24, that looks about 242. I'd say that's about it, so yeah, looks good. Compass, log, engine, altimeter, radio, orientation, and fuel. So the compass, well the DG, sorry, is aligned with the compass. It's about 064, 065. Yep, that looks good. The log, I haven't got the time actually, that says it's playing. Just a quick check. Switch this. It should tell us how long it takes to get there. radio nav aids set up. And we're not doing any VHF controls. Orientation, I know for a fact that we're going the right way, not just because of the directional compass. It's, I know there's mountains, terrains, Jerome, town of Jerome on the other side of this hill. Sedona is, I know it's over here. It's over here. The way, flags down there. It's possible it's more than and that's right now. The Dell's over there. So yeah, I'm satisfied orientation-wise. We're going correctly. And fuel. Well, fuel selector is on. We don't have any options left or right. There's no fuel pumps or anything like that, so it's fine. So put off checks. The next checklist we need to do is the same checklist, but that's not going to be for a little while yet. Do you get a nice view of Sedona? Well, and Jerome is a beautiful town. Highly recommend go visit Jerome. It's on the side of the mountain over here. The 89A, Highway 89 is somewhere around here. It takes you over the hills. It's the winding road. It's probably get there. And Jerome is like an old mining town. It's so awesome. So that's a pain. A lot of tourists go there every year. It's great. Every time I go there, I actually enjoy going. It's really cool. And it's a little town here called Lockdown. Lockdown. That's the town right there. We're back at the rainy shaped lake, and I've some cottonwoods off the through the back. That's blacked out. And it's an airport we've got before. There it is. Cottonwood Airport. Never actually landed in Cottonwood Airport. Yesterday. That's all they do. Check it out. Modern Hamburg restaurant, and there's the Haunted Hotel. I never stayed at the Haunted Hotel, but I always go to the Hamburg restaurant. Cottonwood I never landed at. I was flying across but I should have. It's pretty obviously close by. However, I did fly into Sedona, and that's a pretty cool airport. It's pretty cool too. It's got a nice restaurant, rather fancy restaurant, a bit more fancy than mine. But it's really good. It's actually quite a tourist channel for tourists. So it's not just pilots and aviators. It's a restaurant. It's the reason I've chosen to fly the 152 is because I enjoy flying this thing. It's a very basic aircraft. It's a lot of fun to fly. There's not a lot to it. This one is a very close resemblance of the Wolf with regards to the simplicity. And I think that's part of the reason I really enjoy flying. Hopefully there'll be some more liveries, so that way you have the personalised number or ton of it. I went with this one because it's kind of a generic old retro type paint scheme, so I'm really cool. So the plans are to take this aircraft from Prescott all the way to the east coast. I'm thinking I'm going to Luray Cabins, or Luray Airport, Luray Cabins, and then from there heading south down all the way down to Key West, and then from there but it'll take quite a few weeks, months to pull this off. But that's the plan. And she's got a lot there. So there's a bit of town of Sedona here. And the airport's on that plateau up there. single spectacular. The satellite imagery they've used up in the medial crater, you can clearly see a line already, which is a good thing. Taking a good point, but it still looks good. You'll see the line's quite noticeable, but it's not as noticeable compared to flights in 2020. So I don't know if the satellite imagery is updated since 2020, or if they've blended the different images better in this building. I don't know. Get it so the pilots appear and then the pilots are leaving. I actually like this song. It just looks weird having that on the suit. Hopefully they'll fix some of the bugs. Another tab is going to be actually selected pilot. I have selected pilot because it's the flight simulator lights it also. You can actually see this little aircraft flying on the top. It's real comfort. What are before and after that? Detailed amounts. There's a place called a changeover point. There's a little marker that tells you where you change over, but if there is no changeover point for a particular sector, you just go at the halfway mark. So that's 86 miles total distance between arrows on this particular sector. So we do it at halfway, which will be 43 DME. Switch over to the Winslow. Which will be actually just guessing. Well, that's 39 because it pays Sedona. Yeah, so up to Latham to past Sedona. I'll be changing that. A little wet. Yes, no. That's on Winslow. This one's on Drake. Yeah, Prescott. Looks like we are on track. It's looking good. Yeah, we're at almost 29 DME. And 39 is at Oates. That's a fix. 43 DME is the halfway point. So a bit of way to go yet, but once again, it's be past Sedona after that. Good change. In case you're wondering why I went with the Cessna 152 that has wheel planes, it's because that's how most aircraft are in most flights. Most of them do not have a wheel planes on them. I think it's generally because they need access to the tyres fairly often to change the tyres and pump it and stuff like that. Because they those aircraft get flown on a regular basis. So I think that's part of the reason they don't put the wheel pants on. And you always, for the most part, just fly into the local training area, so reducing drag just that little bit is not really necessary. So I think they get damaged fairly easily. So I think that's the most reason why most flight schools don't have them on. I mean, when I do see them on the wheel pants on, it actually looks kind of weird. Like, oh, that's unusual. I have covers on. But that's why I opted to go for the version that has no wheel pants. I'm sure there's something about wheel pants that's strange. Right on track. So that'd be Mormon amount there, it'd be a lake just to the right of it on the southern part of that lake. Looks like that's pretty much where we're heading. That's good, that's a good sign. Not to mention we are meant to be just the one side of Stone Airport, which we are. That's so cool. That is what Sedona looks like. If you do ever go to Sedona, I suggest you go during the week. On the weekends, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, it's actually very busy. It's very tourist heavy. So go during the week if you want to go visit Sedona. That's busy. Reason, traffic that drives up from Phoenix on Friday afternoon, should know it, but it is definitely a beautiful area. Pretty unique area too. Well worth visiting if you get a chance. And there's a hiking trail actually around the airport, so that's probably it there. On the part of the road. Yeah, there's and that's what we're let's try to get some of that. haven't quite worked out yet, because some videos of that's in 2024 you can see they have a pilot in the seat. So I don't know if maybe it's something I haven't done. I haven't configured correctly. I'm not sure. L3 DME was the changeover point for this. It's the halfway point. We'll just wait here until we get to that point. Compass is 061. In real life, this thing would have drifted by now. And once we switch over to Winslow, that'll give us a time to our arrival at the water. So this is still shooting to Drake, which is behind us, so the time is not good. If we were to go back to Drake right now from this point at this speed, that's how long it would take to get there. So far, looking good. 2 miles before we get to the switchover point. Yep, so there's Norman Lake, expected to be on the southern side of the lake, which is good. That looks right. Now we have to go left. And we are just above the MEA, which is the minimum altitude. And from Oates, it's 2,800 feet. So we're only 200 feet above the MEA. So, like I said earlier, that gives us, on 4 miles either side of the track that's published, 2,000 foot obstacle clearance in the mountains terrain. So obviously, Flagstaff is a bit further than 4 miles away, so that's why the mountain is higher, but we can still be at the MEA here. So we've got obstacle clearance 4 miles either side of this track. Alright, just do a time switch over. Let's go to heading mode. So heading sets. Heading mode. Change that to 2.6. 2.6. Just confirm. Identify it. That is tuned and identified. The DME numbers should be decreasing now. Yes, they are. Just tuned and identified that one. That doesn't sound right. I have to turn it up a bit. Hang on. Let's try that again. That doesn't sound right. It's not right. Crap, that's... The information is right on the DME, but the Morse is wrong. So, I actually can't use it. In real life, I can't use it. So, that's interesting. The numbers are about correct. Okay, so we'll pretend it was tuned and identified correctly. It is hard to hear the Morse in this thing. It's the letters are India November Whiskey. So that's ... dash dot dot dash dash. And I'm pretty sure that's not what I'm hearing. I'm hearing 3 dots in there somewhere. Yeah, I don't know what that's identifying. Okay, we'll pretend it identified correctly. But obviously in real life you couldn't use that unless you knew what it was identifying. The numbers are correct to what I would expect. I've actually never had that before. There's not in real life anyway. That's interesting. Alright, so we should probably do a brief or the approach that we're expecting to do. Even before we do that, we should probably get the ABOS, which is on 118875.
Observation 2300 Zulu. Wind 260 at 4. Visibility 9er. Sky condition no clouds below 12,000. Temperature 15 C dew point. 13 C altimeter 299er215. Kilo India November Whiskey automated weather observation 2300 Zulu. Wind 260 at 4. Visibility 9er. Sky condition no clouds below 12,000. Temperature 15 C dew point. 13 C altimeter 299er215.
2992. Okay. This is an approach, BOR approach for runway 11. And of course you don't have to land on runway 11. Give me a second, what was the wind? 260 at 4. Runway 29er. That's probably the most likely one. And which is the opposite end of runway 11. So what we'll do is plan to do a circling approach. That's what I did in the last video. So we've got the VOR, or you can use GPS, however with this aircraft does not have GPS. So the VOR approach runway 11. We're inbound on the 0612 the station, which is on the 242 radial. 242 radial, that's 195. That's 278. 242 is somewhere here. So we're coming in on the 242 radial at the 10 DME arc. We'll make a left turn, just circle around at 10 DME from the nav 8. Intercept the 0982 the nav 8, which is on the 278 radial. Once we get overhead the nav 8, we're going to track 106 towards 1111. Instead of descending down to our minimum descent altitude of 5,340, go to 5,420 and circle approach to brake left, just to sort of follow the right downwind runway 29er and land there. Although I should probably look sharp, so you can see black patterns out and down. It's probably regular. Right patterns 1-1. That's a 1-1, which is that way. So actually, I should actually go down this side. And we won't brake right, left. We'll have to brake right. go down this side of the airport. So the RP, the right hand's wrong that one. So this is one line. Then it goes and this way. We can get out this way. They probably don't want people circling over the town, that's probably why. But anyway, once we're in the arc, we can just set to 8,100 feet. That's the same as the MSA for there, but we're not going to be worried about that because we're going to be in the sector. 8,100 feet. Once we are established inbound on the 098 radio, we can track, or actually descend down to 6,200 feet. And once we get overhead the nav, then we can descend down to 5420. If for whatever reason we were not able to get in with doing this approach procedure, we'd have to climb straight out to 6,000 feet and then continue with a right hand turn up to 7,000 feet, tracking towards Winslow. We enter a hold drop entry at 7,000 feet. Start the approach already. However, we're going to get in, so that's all good. Alright, so we're about 20 minutes out. And I actually forgot to put back on nav mode. So we drifted a little bit off course. Still on tolerance, but silly me, I forgot to do 6 1 is the track, so I'm going to need to go and there's the meteor crater right there, so we actually should be just to the meteor crater should just be off to our left. We'll be flying over the gun there, so that's about right. And looks like it's about 0. Yeah, whoopsie. Sorry about that. Drifting off course, it's silly. Let's have a look from outside. And you can see the photography differs from one side of the meteor crater versus the other. It's got a giant line around, but it's not as distinct as it is in the Flight Sim 2020. So I think they've done something with the balloon that's not as noticeable. Flight Sim 2020 is clearly visible. But either way, it still looks really good. Should have seen it before. This is what it looks like in real life. There's not much out there. The little lakes look really good. Like a salt lake. This flights in places. Just get this out. Just check it out. We're almost back on track. I can't believe I let that drift. Go ahead. Let's see. 2 for setting up. 098, so that's 100, about there. The inbound track. We might be focusing on that until we finish the DVR. So once we get to, I guess about 10.5, I'll start the left turn. We just turn 90 degrees. And hopefully we'll be smack bang right on the 10 degree arc. And as you continue along the arc, just make slight right turns. I think people suggest 20 degrees, maybe 30 degree turns. Just inch along the arc until you reach the actual radial you want. Alright, we're almost back on track. There's the it's better because I normally see like this nose while I'm on these things. Let's see, compass, indicators. Go forward. And we're on track, so it's going to have should make a right turn to 70 or something. but might have corrected, probably not. Yep. Meanwhile, my passengers are throwing up in the back. Actually, that wasn't as violent as I was expecting. It's normally actually quite violent when it chases on you. But it's not that bad in real life. It's a lot more sensitive in real life. Now, this is the cleanest 152 I've ever seen. There's normally a bunch of crap, rotten carpet, just sometimes this bit's missing, and yeah, this is the cleanest 152 I've ever been in. It's nice. So you can clearly see they just need to behind. See, it's a bit better. The meteor crater looks pretty good. That's I-40, state I-40. This one, I think that's it. Just I-40. That's the tourist spot there. I have flown over it a couple of times in real life, but I've never actually visited on the ground. So obviously that's the meteor crater right there. I'm just going to fly just to the south of it. And the dotted magenta line, that's the extended airspace for the classic aerospace. That means the classic aerospace can actually go all the way down to the ground. The shade of magenta means that airspace actually goes to 700 feet above the ground, but obviously it's kind of the shape of the DMER with the approach we're going to be flying. So that's why that airspace is there. Once we get past the meteor crater, we'll be expected to set the arc, which is probably right where this. Start going shortly. Quickly, let's do our pre-descent checklist. Mixture we're going to leave as is. Fuel is on. Carburetor heat, we're going to adjust that as necessary. ATIS we've got. Altimeter is set. It's the same altimeter 2992. Instruments looking good so far. Pre-landing checks. Brakes, so they're off. Fender off the brakes. With the landing light on. The jack's light on, so there's no harm in that. Seatbelts, make sure they're on. Mixture, we're going to leave that as is. Carburetor heat, we're going to adjust that once the RPM is outside of the green arc. And it feels like it's on the flaps. We will adjust as this. Checks are complete. Excellent. So once we get past the equator, approach, which is 6 miles away. I'm sure it gets into more detail in some places, because the one in 2020 is actually quite detailed, which is really good. might be just my internet connection. Yeah, I think it's looked better before, so it's probably just did for some details. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. It's kind of squarish around corners. Alright, we're going to switch back to the Navo 10.8, so we're going to do our left turn at 10.5. Hold the windows wide. So 90-degree turn. 10.4, let's go. Head mode, hold turn. And switch this to 106. So we've got 098 on nav2. On 10 dm right now. So that seems like a pretty good spot to turn. Just inside of it is a tolerance of, I believe, plus or minus 1 mile. Yeah, pretty good. Alright, so we can descend down to 8,100 feet. Let's go. So we're going to follow this arc until we get to 098, which is when this needle is centered. But I'm not going to make any turns to the right until we get at least 10 dm, so close to it. It's 10. Alright. Probably go 20 should be good. Yeah, that goes. Maybe. Hopefully it'll 10. Speed's good. The horizon's good. Altimeter is still dropping. It's good at 500 feet a minute. I'm currently heading north. Compass is aligned. And we're descending 8,000 feet, just inside 10 nautical miles. So just maintain this heading a bit longer. So basically, that's the arc, that's the nav aid there in the middle. To the south, we're heading this way. Travelling down. Anyway, just keep an eye on this needle. I'm sorry, this one. That's for after station. So this one, we're almost there. Yeah, we can just maintain this heading. And once we're established on the 098, we can descend to 6,200 feet, which we're very close to it. Alright, let's keep the tank going. Hopefully we'll not overshoot it. So. Good. Tracking in down on this one. Just under 1,000 feet to go. So actually, no, that's not true. We'll go to 6,200 feet now established. 1,200 feet. And the nav aid is actually the final approach fix. From overhead the nav aid, then we track 106, that'll take us directly to the runway. Well, runway 11, but we have to brake right or left down for runway 29, just because of the wind. I mean, technically we could land, but it's not the correct thing to do. Just put my throttle back a bit more. Supply a bit of carburetor heat since the RPM inside the green arc. And all these are on, that's good. Obviously we're visual, you can see the towns up ahead, what's to the right of it. So far we're pretty good. Just trying to get back on track, it's just slightly off to our right, the track one. This correction should be fine, it should get us back on. So we can't go below 6,200 feet until we get past the nav aid, so that's 6 miles, we're approaching 8,000 feet now. Alright, so we're back on track, so let's turn the heading back just a little bit. Go about there. So far looking good. 5 miles to go to the nav aid, final approach fix. If you do apply any flap at all, it's probably going to be 10 degrees. flap, and even then, you just apply it just prior to getting to a final approach fix. I'm not going to because it's at 152. Even in the 172, I'd only apply, if I do apply flaps, it'd only be 10 degrees to final approach fix, which is prior. Yeah, it's pretty rare that I land with full flaps in the 172. And this thing, I definitely never use full flaps. Probably used 2 or 3 stages at most. Never full flap in this thing. If you have to go around, then the thing struggles. It's pretty rare to have full flap in this thing. Just over 3 miles to get to an M8. And keep in mind the VORs get more and more sensitive the closer you get, so this is going to get really sensitive quickly. So obviously we're close, so just like the spokes on a bicycle wheel, individual radials where each spoke is a lot closer towards the hub as opposed to further out. So it's a lot more sensitive, so we don't go chasing the needles. Try and stay on it as best you can, but don't go chasing the needles, especially when you're under a go. So look at 6,200 feet, and then 5420 after that, once we pass the M8. So the big hand can go to here. So at this rate, we'll probably just continue our rate of descent. That worked out well. It's actually pretty good, considering how close we are. So that's becoming more sensitive now. One mile to go. So it's probably actually about 0.7 to go. So we are slightly above it. Just so we can get past the Nemo and not slow down too much because it's obviously it's under level. And we're about to hit the desert passage. Don't chase the needle now. 106, that's what we're going to follow now. Nemo up here. Alright, station passage. About 2.5 minutes to the final approach fix. And so we're going to send that. And obviously you can see the runway. Slides there. So 5,420, which is there, and there. It's as low as we can descend. Yeah, well, we don't need to go that low. It's 5,100 feet. That's actually about altitude right there. So since we're visual, so back to the right, just on the left downwind for runway 29 just because of the winds. Double climb here. So 5,900 feet is the normal altitude for this airplane. The elevation is 4,941, so you know it's probably about 59. That's good. assessment visual. There's no need to go all the way down to the circling NDA. Because the runway oh, it's so much easier in real life. Winslow traffic, Cessna 152 Alpha Sierra Hotel is downwind, runway 29er for a full stop landing. Winslow traffic. And the pre-landing checklist, even though I've already done it in Australia, is bumfish, brakes working off, undercarriage is down a lot, mixture is rich, well that's rich as we need it. Fuel selector's on, so there's no fuel pumps or anything like that. Instruments all looking good. Switches are on both. Hatches, harnesses are secure. And we're good to land. So that's there. Probably still a little bit close. Going a bit more. That rudder hits off at the moment just because the RPM is actually. Once it's outside the green arc, with carburetor heat, we'll be flying a carburetor engine aircraft. Even if the temperatures are above freezing. Always. Have a look at this over 10 a second. And let's do that. Let's apply 10 degrees flaps, coming out wide arc. Winslow traffic, Cessna 152 Alpha Sierra Hotel is turning left base, runway 29er, stop. Winslow traffic. And let's move down. So I'll turn until 29er is on my right, DG, there we go. 29er there. Let's just keep the time coming. Yeah, the tank coming. Yeah, we're going to use that one. Pretty high. I can assure you it is a lot easier in real life because you can just easily swivel your head around. It's a bit harder in the sim. But still pretty good. Slightly displaced threshold, probably because of the road here. I don't know why else that would do that. So flicking between the runway and the airspeed indicator. 5 should be fine. Gently pull back. Slows down. There we go. Apply brakes. We take left on Alpha. There we go, folks. Welcome to Winslow, Arizona. Our flight in 152 has taken us here. Continue with our trek eastbound all the way to Luray Caverns in Virginia over the next few weeks or month. Yes, that's the plan. Alright. So let's turn the carburetor heat off. Next lights off, strobe lights off. I should have actually turned the carburetor heat off just prior to touchdown. If so, for whatever reason, we had to go around. We'd have as much power as available. So I figure it's not the end of the world, but it's not the kidding. And better. Well, this airport looks a little busier in Flight Sim 2024 as opposed to Flight Sim 2020. A lot more vehicles here. Very good. And once again, this is another airport I never flew into in real life, unfortunately. When I was doing my flight training out of Prescott, I was mostly flying in the local area, so I didn't get a chance to explore the state much. 2020, that's where are we going? Let's go around the other side of this building. Get with that. Got to do the whole power shutdown procedure. It would have been easier if I just pulled off the taxiway. This intersection here. 2 runways intersect. Not to worry. Do you really think it has that big a steep slope on the taxiway in Winslow in real life? I don't know. Oh, let's not go over there. Just go to the right hand side of this Cessna, eh? Seems like a pretty good spot. Don't let our wings collide. That would be bad. How you can tell if your wings are going to touch? Are the shadows going to touch? If the shadows are going to touch, money will stop. There we go, there we go. And I forgot to track that. Very good. Alright, let's turn all the avionics off. Since there's no avionics master switch, which makes things a lot easier. Alright, takes light can come off. If I can stay on. Actually, I'll just leave the rest of the lights on. Just pull the mixture. Shut down. Shut the eggs off. Batteries, alternator off. And turning off the battery turns off all these lights, but just switch them off anyway. There we go. And fuel selector. How much flight time was that? 1.2. Not too bad, not too bad. Pretty good. Hopefully it'll save those numbers, and watch those numbers accumulate as we could do more flights around the country. Look at that. 2020 did the same thing. It had 2 towers right next to each other. So there must be something in the airport that triggers that to put 2 there. No. It's our little bird. 152. It should be beautiful. Alright, well, hopefully you got something out of this video and learned something, or just enjoyed it, or whatever. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later on the next video. Bye.